We'd like to welcome speaker Mike Sablone, who will share the impact of the Warehouse Theater.
Thank you. My name is Mike Sablone. I'm the producing artistic director of The Warehouse, where we just opened our 51st season. Yeah, woo to that. Thank you. We're a professional live theater committed to creating high-quality work that is vital, diverse, and adventurous. We aim to inspire and challenge our audiences through productions that are available nowhere else in the upstate. Professional theaters like The Warehouse, and good arts organizations in general, teach listening and empathy. We gather audiences together to view their fellow citizens with grace and curiosity, something we can always use more of. As such, our work is most effective when it reflects what's happening in our community. As the artistic director, it's my job to program the plays that help us lead conversations. Because I'm planning years in advance, this requires me to look into the future to select work that hopefully will dovetail with what the upstate will be talking about. When done correctly, this artistic prognostication is a beautiful thing, as the theater becomes a vital outlet for citizens to process emotions and come to a greater understanding of each other. Sometimes your timing can work out in ways you hope but don't necessarily expect. For instance, 30 years ago, when we moved into our West End location in Augusta, I don't think anyone fully understood what downtown Greenville would look like today. But there was a long-term vision, and with that vision enabled us to flourish into the theater that the founders always envisioned we could be. It's also a long enough time that every part of the infrastructure that was put in place when we occupied the building has now failed. All at once. Truly, the greatest joy of my tenure at the helm of The Warehouse has not been paying hundreds of artists a year to do what they love. It has not been watching audiences gasp, laugh, and be moved by our locally produced, just as good as Broadway, but considerably less expensive, to attend productions. No, it was realizing that owning your building is incredible until everything fails at the same time, and it's now up to you to fix it. Sometimes you think you have more time with your HVAC system. You start asking questions like, do we really need air conditioning? It's not like we're in the South, and using enough lights in our productions that mimic the heat of the sun, so it's not a vital part of our, but luckily, there are organizations like Greenville Women Giving who see opportunities to fund where others do not, and whose timing is impeccable. Updating our HVAC was a godsend. Not only was it more efficient, allowing us to save money, it was also quieter, allowing our actors to not have to modulate performances based upon temperature, which is a thing they don't teach you you're going to have to solve as part of artistic director school. There's also another intangible, one that no one would have been able to predict. The year is 2019. The Warehouse and all arts organizations are flourishing. We have an incredible new HVAC system, and we're playing to packed houses. Sure, there are whispers of some health issues across the globe, but we've been here before. There absolutely won't be a pandemic that grinds everything to, and especially the live performance industry, to a halt. Will there be? No. Fun fact, The Warehouse is one of only 2 theaters in South Carolina that have an agreement with the Professional Actor and Stage Management Union, Actors Equity. So we actually, being the only fully professional theater in the upstate, had much stricter guidelines to reopen when the pandemic restrictions were lifted. One of the union stipulations we had for returning our artists to work was that we had to have a contractor come in and test the airflow in our HVAC system. We only had to do one test to find out that we were, of course, compliant. Many professional theaters are a lot older than us and didn't have the same luck that we did, and were out thousands of dollars to try and upgrade. Also, during that test, we actually found another issue that needed fixing with a different part of the system, so we headed off a problem that could have been much worse down the line. And all of this was because of your generosity. Infrastructure can be a hard sell for most giving organizations. But for a small business like ours, your gift was instrumental in navigating the biggest crisis our industry has faced in the last 100 years. The post-pandemic landscape has been incredibly hard on arts organizations, adding fuel to an already terrible fire. In fact, over the last 30 years, the share of the charitable dollar dedicated to the arts has shrunk from 13% to under 5% today. Yeah. In fact, in 2022, the art sector saw for the first time in history a decline in both the total amount of giving and the total number of donors. Charitable contributions fell by $17 billion from the prior year. Crucially, it was yet another year in which donations failed to keep pace with inflation. I say all of this not to depress you and to depress me, but to underscore my main point that every dollar we receive helps us fulfill our mission in ways we can only begin to understand. The primary impulse of any theater is to entertain, and theaters are businesses focusing on art where we learn how to create pathways to forgiveness that are essential for our communities to thrive. And without support of institutions such as your own, our mission and reason for existence as a vital part of the downtown economy would be a pipe dream instead of a reality. My hope is that in 25 years, my daughter Ruby will be involved with y'all, and I can come to her for our 75th anniversary and tell her all about how right before she was born, you supported us with a major gift, and would you be willing to help us again? It's either that, or I'll have to use my incredible powers of prognostication to predict the future to figure out exactly what the next big innovation is in HVAC technology, pretend to invent it, and generate a new revenue system to make up for the lack of charitable foundation. And now that I've said that, I understand that I think the smarter bet is to continue to celebrate your organization and your mission. On behalf of the staff, the board, volunteers, and all artists involved with the Warehouse Theater, we thank you so much for your time, your incredible generosity, and your support of nonprofits in the upstate. We could not do this work without you. Thank you very much.